Get your popcorn out, folks. This is gonna be a good one. Yeah! Why? Wow! Kawhi! 15 straight W's to the very end.
Oh my goodness, this doesn't feel real.
What is going on, Rosano Nation, Raptors Nation? Welcome back to another edition of Raps Report, the podcast where I talk about the Toronto Raptors and various NBA topics. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, rocking the Vaughn Sportsplex 2 t-shirt, a proud sponsor of this channel. So I've been getting a ton of comments and people asking me, Luca, what do you see happening in the series? Who's your pick? When is your preview and prediction video coming out? Well, here it is in this video. I'll be previewing the upcoming highly anticipated matchup between the Celtics and the Raptors, who will do battle in the playoffs for the first time ever. And then at the end of this video, I will reveal who I have winning this best of 7 series and in how many games. Before we get into it, guys, please do me a solid favor. Drop a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on those post notifications. We're officially on the road to 15K. Keep connecting with me on social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And consider becoming a member today. Rosano Nation, Raptors Nation, why wouldn't you want to become a member? I have silver and gold memberships available, and for not a lot, you can get a whole lot. That is custom emojis, custom perks, and shoutouts in these podcasts and in my live streams. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to the series, as I'm sure all of you are. Let's take a look at how these two teams stacked up against each other during the regular season. Celtics won the season series 3-1. They did look impressive in those 3 wins. The best game of this series came all the way back on October 25th, 2019, which seems like a very, very long time ago. The Celtics won that game 112-106. That was arguably the best game of this series. Went back and forth, came down to the wire. And basically, the season series started off with that best game of the season. That was only the second game of the regular season for both teams, and the Raptors lost to the Celtics. Then in the second meeting, of course, that came on Christmas. The Raptors looked terrible in that loss. Celtics spoiled the Raptors' Christmas. Jaylen Brown went off. But then the Raptors got some revenge. A couple days later, they beat the Celtics for their lone win in the season series. And they were actually without Siakam, Powell, and Gasol, but they got a big boost from Van Vliet, Ibaka, and Patrick McCaw. And then in the final meeting of this season series, we of course know what happened. I don't even really want to talk about it. I was frustrated as I was doing a live stream of that game. The Raptors got absolutely pummeled in the bubble by the Celtics. At one point, they were down by 40 freaking points. A couple of players who are going to be out of the series for the Celtics. They're going to be missing Gordon Hayward. That's going to be a big loss for them. And for the Raptors, they're going to be without Patrick McCaw. And now you guys are probably wondering, what about Kyle Lowry, Luca? Is he going to be okay? Of course, he had to leave the game, with that ankle injury. He sprained that ankle. But Kyle Lowry said that he should be ready to go for Game 1 of this series. So expect Kyle Lowry to miss no time. Game 1 of this best of 7, of course, goes on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So Kyle Lowry, he's tough. I didn't expect him to miss any time. He's going to be playing in these games, and the Raptors are going to need Kyle Lowry to be his best self if they want to beat a very good Celtics team. A Celtics team that I think right now, guys, is the best team in the bubble. I mean, they have been clicking on all cylinders. They're coming off of their own sweep of the Sixers. They embarrassed the Sixers in some of those games. They, of course, embarrassed us in the bubble a couple weeks ago. So this Celtics team is going to be ready to play. All right, let's take a look at some players to watch for both sides. Let's first start with the Boston Celtics, and it's Jaylen Brown. And I'm not just going to note Jaylen Brown here for his offense. We obviously know what he's capable of doing. We know what he's done against the Raptors so far this season offensively. It's actually for his defense, because according to NBA.com, guys, only 5 players spend more time defending Siakam than Brown in the regular season, and the numbers point to Brown having a lot of success against Siakam, holding him to 23 points on 10 for 24 shooting from the field in the 2 games they played against each other. So Brown did his best work against Siakam, and I already said it before, I'll say it again, Siakam needs to be his best in this series if the Raptors want a chance to win. So I'm looking at what Brown's going to do, not only for his offense, but for his defense in the series on Siakam, as of course he has had much success against the Raptors All-Star to date. All right, let's take a look at a player to look out for on the Raptors side. It's Mr. Fred VanVleet. He's going to get paid. He's been spectacular in this bubble. VanVleet was dominant in those seeding games, averaging 17.8 points, 6.7 assists, and 3.8 rebounds per game. And VanVleet's going to have to be his best here, guys. We need VanVleet, in my opinion, to average around 20 points per game in this series. He's going to have to be, that relied upon scoring option. He's going to have to, do his thing out there and really show us that he could be the Raptors' best player on this team. So Fred VanVleet's going to have a big series ahead of him. And not only VanVleet, Lowry as well, as that backcourt has done wonders for this Raptors team. That backcourt is going to have to win the backcourt battle in this series. As we look at the last 2 players I want to note here, it's arguably each team's best player. That's Jason Tatum and Pascal Siakam. And this is obviously going to be the opportunity to pin these 2 All-Stars against each other. These guys are so frequently compared to one another of who is the better player. Is it Siakam? Is it Jason Tatum? And I actually have a bet on going right now with the Celtics fan that if the Celtics win, I got to admit that the Celtics have the better team and that Jason Tatum, is better than Pascal Siakam. But if the Raptors win, he's got to do the same. He's got to admit that Siakam's better than Tatum and that the Raptors are better than the Celtics. So that's a fun bet I currently got going on right now. But if you look at these 2 players closely, it's actually been back and forth, and they actually have very, very similar stats. As you look at this graphic per NBA.com that I'm going to pull up here, Jason Tatum against Pascal Siakam in the 2019-2020 season, look at these numbers, guys. Almost identical. So for people saying that, Tatum is head and shoulders better than Siakam, the numbers would suggest otherwise. Now, the eye test leads many people to believe that Tatum is the better player, and I think he is closer to becoming a superstar than Siakam, but Siakam's not that far off. So I'm looking at what these guys do in this series, which, in my opinion, will ultimately be the difference. Another area that I think will ultimately determine the outcome of this series is the bench production. Celtics don't have a very good bench in comparison to the Raptors bench mob. We know what they did. 100 points last game, NBA playoff record. The Celtics do overall, I think, have a better starting 5 than the Raptors, but the Raptors have the better bench, and this is an area where I think the Raptors can absolutely take it to the Celtics. We got such a deep team. We got multiple guys that can come in and make a difference. And we saw it in that Nets series, guys. Playoff Pal looks to be playing his best basketball right now. Serge Ibaka's coming up at the right time. You got Terrence Davis. You got Matt Thomas. You got guys that can make an impact off the bench. So that is an area where I think the Raptors can really take it to the Boston Celtics. So I think the keys for the Raptors in this series, guys, is the play of Pascal Siakam. Is he going to show us that he is indeed this team's best player? And if he's indeed, on his way to becoming a superstar and that go-to game changer in a series like this. And the other area is bench production. Which bench is going to outduel the other? And can the Raptors take advantage of a weaker Boston bench in this series? And we'll see what happens. This is going to come down to those areas. And of course, other key guys having to have big series as well. Jaylen Brown, how is he going to look? He's, of course, been a dynamic player for the Celtics against the Raptors. And then who's going to be that other X factor for the Raptors? Is it going to be a guy like Powell from off the bench? Is it going to be a guy like Serge Ibaka from off the bench? Is it going to be Kyle Lowry? Is Kyle Lowry about to play some of the best basketball of his career in this series? We're about to find out. But those are a couple players I'm looking out for. Those are a couple of storylines I'm going to be keeping a close eye on for. And yeah, if the Raptors can get that bench production and Pascal Siakam plays like the Pascal Siakam that we saw before the bubble, I think the Raptors are going to have a very good chance to win this series. And guys, I almost forgot to mention, the coaching matchup in this one is spectacular. You're pinning two of the best coaches in the NBA against each other. Brad Stevens against Nick Nurse. The way these guys handle adjustments, the way these guys prepare for these individual games will also determine the outcome of the series. All right, so I know I'm going off here on a tirade, and I haven't given you my pick yet, so you guys want to know, Luka, who do you got? Who do you got winning this series? Well, guys, I like to stick with my original predictions, and I know it was an ugly loss last time these two teams played against each other, but I'm going Raptors in 7. I think this is going to go the distance. I think this is going to be a fantastic series, just like last year's second round matchup between the Raptors and the Sixers. And I think the Raptors will ultimately pull this one off because I think their bench is getting hot at the right time. I think their bench can outplay the Celtics bench in all these games. And something tells me Pascal Siakam is going to come up here. There's been a lot of naysayers, myself included, coming at him. Pascal Siakam is going to arrive in this series. I think Fred's going to continue to have a spectacular series, and Kyle Lowry as well. The Raptors overall, I think, are a deeper team than the Celtics, and they will figure it out. These are going to be close games. I don't expect too many blowouts. So I got Raps in 7, but I will say this. If the Celtics do win this series, I would not be surprised because the Celtics are a very talented team. Kudos to them. If they beat the Raptors, they're going to the NBA Finals, as the winner of this will ultimately go to the NBA Finals, as I said earlier. So I would not be surprised if the Celtics win, but I'm going to go Raps in 7. That's my official prediction. You heard it here. Now I want to hear from you. Comment down below, who do you got winning the series and in how many games? And yeah, we will see what happens. The fun's going to begin on Thursday, guys. I'm going to be going live for Game 1 of that series. You definitely don't want to miss it, followed by a post-game Raps report. So, yeah, guys, it's going to be fun times. I think the second round is going to be phenomenal, a lot better than the first round. A couple sweeps, that's not always fun to watch as a basketball fan, unless it's your team, of course. But, yeah, we will see how it all plays out. The NBA playoffs roll on in the bubble. Again, guys, hit me up down below with your pick. Like this video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on social media, and consider becoming a member today. Join as a member, silver or gold, whatever floats your boat. It's all greatly appreciated. That's it from me, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you all again in my next video. Until next time, be great and stay blessed. Peace out.